Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's reading vlog. Today we are starting the last vlog in June, aka the last of the amazing readathon vlogs. Oh my god. How are we already here? I don't even know. How did we get this far? So yesterday I got back from my trip with the book to Gorley's. It was so much fun. We literally had the best time ever. But like the way that my reading has developed over the last 24 hours, I've been waiting to sit down and film this clip, and like I have a second now and I just need to do it. Sorry, I'm in scrubs. I'm like just got home from work, like need to do it right now, need to get this off my chest, okay? First of all, where are we at in the trip around the world in terms of the amazing readathon? Okay, I have submitted 3 books. Yes, only 3, okay? I'm a slow reader. Like, I can't keep up with 10 books a month, okay? So I am currently on the leg in which you have to read a book that has won an award. Originally, when I saw that prompt, I wanted to read Song of Achilles, but like the way that my reading mood is right now is not physically reading, okay? My reading mood is listening to audiobooks, and that's what I've been doing for the last like 24 hours. Yesterday on my plane home, I finished my reread of Throne of Glass, which I had been like just casually listening to for the last like 3 months. I literally had 2 hours left of the audiobook and like just wasn't motivated to like listen to them until I got on the plane yesterday after seeing all my friends who love Sarah J. Maas. So I don't know, I read it, I finished the book yesterday, but unfortunately I can't submit that because I read the majority of that book like before June, but I moved right onto Crown of Midnight because I was just like, seeing my friends just like propels me into my Sarah J. Maas mood. So I did start Crown of Midnight yesterday. I'm like 100 pages in and I'm just like casually listening to this on audio. And wait, I want to give like my first little review on Throne of Glass reread. It didn't hit as much as I loved it the first time. Like I did enjoy it, but like the second time around, I only listened to it on audio. And I think the first time I physically read the book and I was like obsessed with it. The second time when I listened to it, I think I was like, I came away being like, 4 stars, whatever. But I did the reread so I could get the foundations to like go into the rest of the series. I literally haven't picked up Empire of Storms since I read Queen of Shadows like in early 2023. So I wanted to just do a reread of the whole beginning part of the series. So I'm listening to Crown of Midnight on audio. It's honestly so good. This one slaps. And the way that like I'm already seeing stuff being foreshadowed for later parts of the series, like I'm just so happy I'm doing the reread, especially with Heir of Fire. When I had read that the first time, I remember thinking this is going to be way better on a reread. And this is already better on the reread, even though I loved it so much the first time. I just feel like Heir of Fire is gonna be incredible on the reread. Like it's gonna hit way different. It's gonna be way better going back and reading that one again. But yeah, it's poppin', we're rockin', we're having a fun time. I feel like I don't need to explain this. Basically, it's about an assassin who like is an assassin. Okay, sure, you get it, whatever. It's cool. You know Sarah J. Maas, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this channel. I'm either gonna use this one or Golden Sun for the book that has won an award. Both of these have won an award. I do believe this one just won a Goodreads Choice Award, but it's still an award. It still counts, okay? This one actually won like some literary award. I don't know what, but I looked it up on Goodreads and it said it had won an award, so I'm like, check, I'm using this. Golden Sun, second book in the Red Rising series. I am probably, how far was I? I think I'm like chapter 12 or something. Listening to this on audio, oh my god, this book, action does not stop. If you don't know what Red Rising is about, it's like a sci-fi series based around this character named Darrow. He is a red, and the reds are sent to Mars to terraform Mars, and quickly within the first book, the entire world as he knows it is raised upon its head and flipped upside down, and you are following him as he is navigating this immense change of like what he has been told to believe has been going on for so many years and what's actually happening in his life and in the world that he lives in. It literally, action doesn't stop. The writing in Red Rising and like this series as a whole is so different from any type of writing that I typically read. It's very like matter of fact, but extremely fast paced, extremely like just boom, 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 boom. Like plot is just going. I'm probably about 100 pages in and it's like the explosions are already happening. Like it's incredible. So either one of these two is going to fulfill that 4th prompt for me to submit. I am sorry, these are not general fiction novels. The way that I wanted to read general fiction this month, the hopes were so high, but like for me, I'm such a mood reader. So if I'm forcing myself to read a book, I just won't read. Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I feel genuinely so bad that I am the captain of Team General Fiction, and I've literally read one general fiction book this month. My goal is to read books, and I just gotta do what the mood calls for. And right now that is audiobooks and that is fantasy. So tis what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say. Moving on, okay? This next book I'm about to talk to you about is the book that I have been I need to talk to you about it. So if you watched last week's reading vlog, you would know that I have started When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Guys, I'm deceased. I am dead and gone and buried. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this book. Oh my God. Let me just give you the story of where I'm at, what's going on, what is the plot, what is happening here, okay? I read about 30% of this book in last week's vlog, okay? And then I have to physically read it because I tried the audio and the audio was not hitting, and I'm like, this is ruining the experience. We need to physically read it. I had like some downtime at work today, and so I was kind of like just like reading it in between. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is 5 stars. I am 37% in now. It is 5 stars. Like, this book has awoken something within my soul. I feel like this is probably gonna be my favorite book of the year. Like, and that's a bold statement. Let me explain the plot. Let me tell you why. Okay, we're following our main character named Rave. She is like, kind of like an assassin type individual, not like an official assassin, but she like does the dirty work for a rebel group in this land of, I don't even know what the planet is called. But the planet, love this map by the way, obsessed. The planet is kind of split into 2 spheres, or like it's like split by an equator, just like the Earth, where you have the burn, which is like the closest to the sun, and it's like super, super hot, and like no humans can live up there. And then you have the shade, which is like super, super cold, and like no humans can live down there. Everyone lives in the middle, okay? Dragons are part of this world, and the dragons can inhabitate, that's definitely not a word. The dragons can live on either side of the poles. So like someone wants to tame a dragon, they have to like go and get a dragon egg from like these extreme weather conditions. But like not many people like own dragons. It's like a very risky thing to do. Like you literally risk your life doing this. But there's like a lot of like kind of conflict going on within the world, and it's all based around this kind of like ethereal elemental magic where people who possess magical powers have the ability to control like wind, water, earth, or like dirt or soil. Like think of Frozen. You know how she can control, like that's it, okay? But she can control like the wind and stuff. And like, oh my God, you guys, the way that this book sets up, you're following her as she's like kind of sent along these missions to like kill people, and she's really trying to like bring justice to people, right? Like someone wronged her and she's making it right. And she's like a very morally just main character. Like she's really trying to keep right in the world and do things for good. But she also does have some personal motivations as well. I love her. Like she very much gives Selena Sardathian, where she's just like, she's an assassin, she's badass, she like goes after what she needs, she does what she needs to do to like get to the endpoints and like, you know, take care of the business she needs to get to, if you know what I mean. But like she just feels like a very powerful main character as well, and I just feel like I can understand her really, really well. She's a very fleshed out main character. Like I feel like sometimes in fantasy romances, it just feels like this main character is the vessel for you to feel the feelings, and it's not like that. Like I genuinely feel like I understand her as a character. So what I'm enjoying most about this book right now is that it is very, very fantasy forward. Like I am 300 pages in and I'm just starting to get into the enemies to lovers romance. Like I think the author did a very good job of setting up the world and really making you imagine like what's going on and like having a really great understanding of the world before she dived into the romance. I think it is so well done. I feel like I haven't read a book that has this good of world building in a while. Genuinely so impressed, okay? But now we're just starting to get into the enemies to lovers fantasy romance part. Guys, I'm deceased. The male main character in this, I'm obsessed. Their tension, I'm obsessed. You guys, I was sitting at work reading this book and I'm like kicking my feet like a little girl. It is so good. And I just feel like this book has such beautifully established the fantasy world, and now we're like, we've waited long enough, and now we're getting into the tension, now we're getting into the romance, but we still have this like major fantasy plot line on the side. This book starts out at a 10 and it only goes up from there. Like, it's just action on action on action. You're continuing to just like flip the pages, what's going on, what's gonna happen, how is she gonna get out of this? Like, I can't put it down. I can't stop reading it. It's so good. So this is the other book that I am hoping to continue on this week. It is absolutely incredible. I'm actually obsessed with it. Okay, so that's where we're at. I've literally been talking for like 20 minutes and I need to go, and I actually had another book that I was going to haul because I just got a package in today, but I don't have time. I need to go. I love you. I will do that in the next clip. Bye! Okay, hi guys! I am actually doing so good with my reading this week. I am 4 hours away from finishing Crown of Midnight. I'm on like chapter 30, it's like 36 or 37. Like, I'm almost 300 pages in. I started this on Monday and I'm already that far. And I think the reason I'm cruising through it is because I'm just putting it on audio. And I also feel like since this is a reread, I'm like getting through it so much quicker. But basically, I just hit the part where, I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't read it, but there was a very significant event that happened in this book. If you know what I mean, I'm sure you do, because there's like one event that happens in this book that is like scarring to me. Of any event that's happened in any of the books, this event was like one that sticks with you. Overall, as a reread, this book is hitting. I feel like there's so much foreshadowing that I didn't pick up on the first time around. Also, I feel like Crown of Midnight is really where the series kicks off. Like, Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass are good background to go into the series, but this is where the plot just starts to skyrocket, and it feels like the wheels are turning for the setup for the later books. Also, I like totally forgot that Cale plays such a significant role in this book. Like, he is very much centered around in this book as compared to any other male main character. And it's just so interesting to me because I remember coming away from Queen of Shadows having a very strong, not super positive opinion about Cale as I've read the rest of the books. Like, honestly, he got so annoying to me the first time I read the books. Like, I just remember on my initial read of Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, I actually kind of liked Cale. But like, who was that girl? Because that man, I can't. This is going really well overall. I'm probably going to finish this within the next day or two, if not just finish it tomorrow, because I've been just cruising with the audiobook. The second thing, When the Moon Hatched, still loving it. I think I'm around like chapter 36 as well. I'm about halfway through. That one is just pure gold. Oh my God. Like, after I did the clip yesterday, I continued on and I probably have read another at least like 5 or 6 chapters, and things are starting to get revealed. We're starting to connect the dots with different characters that were initially mentioned in the beginning of the book that we didn't really have a big clue about. The book is kind of split into 2 different parts. So you have the chapters where you have Rave's point of view, but then you have these interspersed like written diary entries, and we're starting to understand who that person is and why those entries are put in the book. So it's just really uncovering itself. The plot is starting to come together a lot more, and I just am really interested to see where this book is going to go and how it's going to play out in the second half, because I just feel like this first half has been so like monumental and eventful. It's absolutely spectacular. I really do think this is going to be my favorite book of the year, and I'm just like cannot wait for the rest of these series to come out. I found out that the second book isn't coming out until like fall 2025, which is totally okay. Like, apparently the author has like everything planned out for this series already, which is so great. And it's so good to know that like I can trust this author with my feelings, you know? Like, this author's not gonna let me down and give me a really terrible ending because she already has got it planned out. I mean, who knows? The ending could usurp me and I may have a totally different opinion, but it gives me a lot of hope that the author is actually planning out the content. Last thing I want to do with this little clip, I have a package. I already know what this is because when I saw my friends over the past weekend, we were just like chatting about books, of course, and they were telling me about how Spark of the Everflame and that like the Kindred Curse series, they are going out of stock in paperback because they are getting a reprint, like, and they're getting traditionally published. So I have the first two in the originally published editions, and I needed to just complete the set before they completely went out of print. So I got Heat of the Everflame, and dang, this book is chunky. Oh my gosh, wait, look at that flap. Look at that flap. We love that. It's 730 pages. So now I have a complete collection, which I'm stoked about. The first one, you guys, I filmed an entire reading vlog that I am hoping to put out at some point in April, in which I read that book and I loved it. I think I gave it 4.5 or 5 stars. It was so good. Wait, no, I think I gave it a 4.5 star. I did have one major gripe with it. I felt like the romance was a little bit more tell, not show, but world building, incredible. It was a fantasy forward fantasy romance. Totally deserves the hype that it's getting on BookTube right now. So it is Tuesday night. It's like almost like 10 o'clock and I gotta go to bed. But I will talk to you guys in a nice clip. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye. Okay, hi everyone, check-in time. Good news, guess who finished a book? I finished Count of Midnight. I finished it, I am so happy. Read this book in 3 days. It was awesome, I loved it. I used this book for the Paris prompt, which is the 4th prompt in the readathon, which was read a book that won an award, and this book won like the Children and YA Sci-Fi Fantasy Goodreads Award in like 2014. Still counts, baby. I used the plain option for this, so I got double the page count to double my points. Super happy I finished this. Gave it 5 stars. You guys, this hits so much better on a reread as well, which I'm so excited to go into Air of Fire because I just feel like that reread, it's gonna slap. I remember the first time I read this, I was so confused on the plot and what was going on. And now rereading it, I'm like, oh, got it. Makes a lot more sense now. The ending of this book is also chef's kiss. Immaculate. Amazing. But I want to talk to you guys about the next book that I'm going to read. First of all, I don't think I'm going to finish When the Moon Hatched in time. I'm about halfway through right now and the readathon ends tomorrow. And there ain't no way that I'm gonna read another like 400 pages before that ends. So in light of that, I've decided I'm gonna go with a graphic novel because I know I could finish this graphic novel today. And it's contemporary fiction and LGBTQ author. And I'm so happy to finally be ticking some boxes on those. I did read a literary fiction earlier in the month, which was Slow Days, Fast Company by Eve Babbitt's. The only bonus point I haven't gotten yet is the LGBTQ author. I have had LGBTQ representation within the books. Like when I read High Achiever, which was a memoir about this woman's time being in jail and overcoming addiction, there were scenes where there was kind of like a woman-woman romance or sapphic romance, but like the author didn't ever say that she was LGBTQ, and we're not gonna be placing labels on someone. We're not doing that in this readathon. So I haven't been able to count anything yet, but in light of that, I do know this author is LGBTQ, and that is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Alice Oseman is an author that is openly LGBTQIA, and yeah, I am glad to finally be able to incorporate a LGBTQIA author in this readathon. Like, it's absolutely necessary, especially it's Pride Month. Like, I need to. It's an absolute necessity. The fact that I haven't read this is honestly criminal. Like, it came out I think in January, and just like, why have I not picked it up yet? Random side thoughts. Did do a 2-hour workout yesterday with my cousin. We did a leg workout. Absolutely destroyed me. And I realized that working out with a partner is way better in terms of motivating myself to push myself harder. Okay, I'm on a tangent. I'm just gonna go, and happy Pride Month. Sunday today. I did read this last night. You guys, I listened to Gracie Abrams' album while I was reading this, and it was just like I was in high school again. Oh my God, it's just so cute. I freaking love Heartstopper. This whole series just gives me life. I just wish that this had been around when I was in high school. I mean, all like the topics in here, incredible. They're talking about like, obviously it's a very coming of age type of story, right? Nick is going to go to college and he's trying to pick a college and he's torn between whether or not to stay close to home where Charlie is versus go off where his heart is calling him. He's wrestling with that decision throughout the entire book. The other main focus of this book is taking that next step with your partner. And the way that Alice Oseman framed that conversation, having it being a very safe conversation to have, not only with your friends, but also your parents. Like, not only does the author explore kind of like the feelings that teenagers have when they're in their first relationship and exploring kind of physical intimacy and whatnot, but they also create a very safe space for discussion surrounding this topic. Like, Alice Oseman really made it okay to talk about that stuff and explore that conversation and explore having a safe conversation with your partner about that too, which is incredible. And I just so respect the way that Alice Oseman is connecting with the youth, connecting with teenagers and with young people who are figuring themselves out, all of those conflicted feelings of, do I take a gap year? What do I want to do with my life? Is this the person I want to be with? What, like, all of those feelings are expertly explored in this book, and in such a way that it doesn't ever shame an individual for having a certain type of feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like, even in the way that Nick is trying to decide between two desires that he wants, the desire to go to college he really likes, find people he really fits in with, but also continue that really strong relationship he has with Charlie. That feels like an experience that many people go through, and I remember I went through that experience when I was younger, and look, I ended up marrying the person that I was in that relationship with. It's just so wholesome. My heart explodes every single time I read one of these books, and I just 5 stars till the end of days, okay? Talking about the amazing readathon real quick, just in terms of point strategies. So I did end up skipping 2 legs so I could count this book. I skipped the leg of the nature on the cover, which I think was Cape Town, and then I skipped the leg of a book featuring religion or gods. And then I ended up using the plain option, and this counts for a bonus for the fiction and a bonus for an LGBTQIA author, so check! And then I ended up using this for the prompt with light on the cover, source of light. We have some stars on the cover, so perfect, I did it. So yeah, I am officially on, I guess now entering leg 8, and it is the last day of the readathon, and I'm going to a baby shower today. Reed and I are becoming an aunt and an uncle very soon, and so we have a baby shower to go to today, and there's just literally no way that I'm gonna finish this book today. With, you know, being around family, that's literally gonna take the entire afternoon, and I probably have another 400 pages left of this book. So, oh, the other thing I wanted to say is that I did start Air of Fire last night, and I listened to like 2 hours of the audiobook while I was playing Stardew Valley. Also, I married Sebastian in Stardew Valley, my broody king. And then number 2, I finished the community center. I've never made it this far in a Stardew Valley save before, and I'm so excited. But today is the last day of the amazing readathon, so I'm gonna end the vlog here. I at least read 1 additional book. Actually, I completed 3 books this week. I finished Throne of Glass, finished Crown of Midnight, and read Heartstopper Volume 5. So I would say this is a very successful reading week. Honestly, slay. And then we'll continue reading this book into July. That's just the way it goes sometimes. I can't listen to the audio of this because I hated the audio, so I have to physically read, and I'm not always in a physically reading mood. You know what I mean? I'm into an audiobook mood right now, and that calls for Sarah J. Maas and some Throne of Glass. So glad I'm rereading this series before going into the end of the books, like Empire of Storms, Kingdom of Ash, Tower of Dawn, because like I would have been so lost. I feel like I am relearning everything about this world. Honestly, all of these books hit way better on the reread, and I'm so happy I decided to do this. Oh, also restarted going with my genre blanket because Brie inspired me because she's doing a genre blanket too. So I have a lot of rows to catch up on. Literally, I think I probably have another 10 color blocks to do because I've read like 7 books this month. Literally, I don't think I've ever finished 7 books in 1 month ever in my entire life. Pat myself on the back. Pat myself on the back. This has been an incredible readathon, I must say. Bree from 4 Paws on a Book, you knocked this out of the park, girl. This was amazing. I am so thankful to have participated in it, and I had such a blast being in the Discord, talking and getting to know my co-host Aoife more. Like, it's just been an incredible time, and everyone in the general fiction chat, like, you are the real ones. We had such a fun time. Everyone, it was just like a very safe space readathon for me, and I felt like it was just so much fun. And yeah, I'm just so thankful to have been a participant and a co-host, and cannot thank you enough, Bree. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work you've done. You have absolutely knocked this out of the park. One of the best readathons I think I've ever participated in, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, here's how I'm gonna end the vlog. If you've made it this far into the video, leave a plain emoji because the amazing readathon. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you are. Peace and love, everyone. Go read Heartstopper if you haven't already. Okay, bye.